October 19, 2014, from Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. It was the New Orleans Saints at the Detroit Lions. The Lions won the toss and they elected to receive, but they would go 3 and out on their first possession. So would the Saints, as they went 3 and out and punted it back to the Lions. So now the Lions had the ball with less than 12 minutes left in the first. They would reach midfield and cross into New Orleans territory, but on 4th and 6 from the New Orleans 44, they would be forced to punt. So now the Saints got the ball with about 8 minutes left in the first, and they were on their own 7-yard line as they were in the shadow of their own end zone. They would actually cross midfield when on 3rd and 10 from their own 30, Drew Brees hit Colston for a 21-yard pass that brought the ball to the Detroit 49. Their drive would stall a few plays later, about 6-7 plays later, and they would be forced to punt on 4th and 12 from the 39 of the Lions. So now the Saints punted, and the Lions had the ball on their own 10-yard line with about a minute and a half left before the end of the first quarter. And they ended up getting a penalty on first down, and that made it 1st and 5 from the 15. And then on 2nd and 2, after picking up 3 yards, it was 2nd and 2 from their own 18. Stafford dropped back to pass, and he was intercepted by Lewis. So now the Saints had the ball on the Detroit 29. And then Drew Brees ended up hitting Stills for a 10-yard pass, and an unnecessary roughness call against the Lions would make it a 20-yard play. And that brought the first quarter to a close as it was still 0-0. So the Saints opened up the second quarter with the ball on the Detroit 9-yard line as it was 1st and goal. But then a face mask penalty against the Saints brought them back to the 20 for 1st and goal from the 20. They then lost 4 yards on a run, so it was 2nd and goal from the 24. But then a pass interference play brought them up to the 13, so it was 1st and goal from the 1st and 10 from the 13. So they now had a chance to get a first down, but they wouldn't need it as Drew Brees hit Johnson for a 13-yard touchdown pass, and it was now 7-0 Saints over the Lions. So now Lions took over on their own 19 with about 14 minutes left before halftime. They would get into Saints territory, but on 4th and 5 from the 41 of New Orleans, they would end up punting the ball. So now the Saints got the ball on their own 10, and then after picking up a first down on 3rd and 5 when Brees hit Cadet for a 25-yard pass to make it 1st and 10 from the 40, Robinson ended up fumbling the ball, and the Lions recovered. So now it was Detroit's ball on the New Orleans 47 with less than 8 minutes left before halftime. They would make it all the way down to the 3-yard line, but on 4th and goal from the 3, they would bring out Matt Prater, and he kicked the 21-yard field goal as the Lions got on the board with the score now 7-3 New Orleans over Detroit. So now the Saints took over on their own 20 with about 5.5 minutes left before halftime. They would go 3 and out, so they punted the ball back to the Lions. And the Lions had the ball now on their own 33 with about 4 minutes left before halftime. So the Lions' drive would stall as it was 4th and 23 from the 44 of New Orleans, and they would end up punting it back to the Saints. The Saints now had the ball on their own 11-yard line with about a minute and a half left before halftime. They would end up marching down the field really quick as they went 80 yards in 8 plays in about a minute and a half, making it all the way down to the Detroit 9-yard line. But as time was about to expire before halftime, they had Graham come out to kick a 27-yard field goal, and it was now 10-3 Saints over the Lions heading into the locker rooms at halftime. So now, to start the third quarter, the Saints had the ball. They had it on their own 20. And after getting a first down to bring it to the 32 and then a no gain, a run for no gain, it was then 2nd and 10 from the 32. Drew Brees would then drop back to pass, and he hit Colston for a 22-yard reception to make it 1st and 10 on the Detroit 46. Brees then dropped back to pass, and he hit Stills for a 46-yard touchdown as it was now 17-3 Saints over the Lions. So the Lions trailed by 2 touchdowns with less than 14 minutes left in the third. They had the ball on their own 20. Stafford then hit Butch for an 11-yard pass to pick up a first down. Then a few plays later, it was 3rd and 2 from the 39, and Joique Bell picked up a first down with a 7-yard run. Then on 3rd and 7 from the 49, a few plays later, Stafford hit Golden Tate for a 19-yard pass to pick up the first down and bring the ball to the 32. Stafford then hit Pettigrew for a 12-yard pass to pick up another first down. So it was first down on the New Orleans 20 as they were right on the edge of the red zone. Stafford then hit Tate for a 7-yard pass, and then Bell ran for 11 yards to make it first and goal on the 2. And after a 1-yard pickup, it was second and goal from the 1, and Bell punched it in from a yard out to make it a one-score game, with the score now 17-10, with the Saints in the lead by a touchdown over the Lions. The Saints now had the ball with a little over 6 minutes left in the third, and they would go 3 and out as they end up punting the ball back to Detroit. Detroit would go 3 and out as well, so they punted it right back to New Orleans. So now the Saints had it on their own 1-yard line with about 3.5 minutes left in the third. But then on first down, Brees hit Colston for a 19-yard pass to get out of the literal shadow of their own end zone. Then a few plays later, it was 3rd and 4 from the Detroit 48. Drew Brees dropped back to pass, and he hit Colston for a 23-yard pass to bring the third quarter to a close, as it was now, after 3 quarters of play, New Orleans 17, Detroit 10. So to start the fourth quarter, the Saints had the ball on the Detroit 25 and a first down, but their drive would stall, and about 4 or 5 plays later, Graham came out to kick a 48-yard field goal, and that made it 20-10, as New Orleans now led Detroit by 10 points with about 13.5 minutes left in this game. Detroit had the ball on their own 20, and they would end up bringing it up to midfield, and then on 3rd and 10 from their own 43, Stafford hit Tate for an 8-yard pass, but then a roughing the passer penalty added on another 15, so it would be first down on the New Orleans 34. Stafford then hit Fuller for an 18-yard pass, and then after a 3-yard run, it would be 2nd and 7 from the New Orleans 13 as Detroit was in the red zone and primed and ready to score. But then Stafford threw an interception to Vaccaro, and now New Orleans took over on the Detroit 49 after a 45-yard return on the interception. So now the Saints had the ball right there at midfield, and they would end up getting it down into the red zone, but they would end up having their drive stall, and Shayne Graham came out to kick a 36-yard field goal, and that would make it 23-10 Saints over the Lions. So the Saints had the 13-point lead with about 5.5 minutes left in this game. Detroit would take over on their own 10-yard line after a holding penalty on the kickoff. Then after an incomplete pass on first down, Stafford was sacked on second down, but then an offensive holding penalty was declined because of the sack, so it was 3rd and 10. Stafford dropped back to pass, and he hit Fuller for a 21-yard reception that brought the ball to the Detroit 31 for the first down. Then after an incomplete pass on 2nd and 10, it was a false start, so that made it 2nd and 15 from the 26. Stafford then hit Pettigrew for a 1-yard pass, so it was 3rd and 14 from the Detroit 27, and then Stafford aired it out to Golden Tate, and Golden Tate took it to the house for a 73-yard touchdown pass, and it was now a one-score game with the score 23-17. So now the Saints would take over on their own 20-yard line with about 3.5 minutes left in this game, up by 6 points. And they ended up getting a first down, and it was 1st and 10 from the 28 after an illegal use of the hands against the defense. And then it was 2nd and 9 after a 1-yard run by Ingram, and an incomplete pass would make it 3rd and 9 from the 29. New Orleans, Drew Brees dropped back to pass, and he was intercepted by Glover Quinn, and Detroit got the ball back with just over 3 minutes left, and they were on the New Orleans 14 as they were already in scoring position. Joique Bell then ran for 3 yards and then 2 yards, so now it was 3rd and 5 from the 9, and an incomplete pass would make it 4th and 5 from the 9-yard line, and then another incomplete pass, but wait a minute, there was defensive pass interference on the call, on the play, and so now it was 1st and goal from the 6. Bell got stuffed for no gain on first down, and then he only picked up 1 on 2nd down, so now it was 3rd and goal from the 5. Stafford dropped back to pass, and he hit Fuller in the back of the end zone for a 5-yard touchdown pass, and the Lions were now in the lead 24-23 as they had come back from down 13 points with less than 5.5 minutes left to now take the 1-point lead with less than 2 minutes left in the game. So now the Saints had the ball on their own 20 after the 2-minute warning. Brees threw 3 incomplete passes, and that brought up 4th down from the 20. Brees then scrambled, and he picked up the 1st down as he ran for 13 yards to make a 1st down on the New Orleans 33, threw another incomplete pass to bring up 2nd down. Then he actually threw a pass for a loss of a yard, and that would make it 3rd and 11. Brees then hit Cadet for an 8-yard pass, so now it was 4th and 3 from the New Orleans 40. Drew Brees dropped back to pass, and it was incomplete, and the Lions take over as the Saints turn it over on down. Stafford takes the knee, and the Detroit Lions win this game 24-23 with the 4th quarter comeback as Matthew Stafford throws 2 touchdowns in the final 5.5 minutes of this game. And in this game, Stafford was 27 for 40 with 299 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Drew Brees was 28 for 45 with 342 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. The leading rusher in this game was Joique Bell with 48 yards off of 18 carries, 1 of which was for a touchdown. And the leading receiver was Golden Tate with 154 yards off of 10 receptions and a touchdown, both of which were career highs for Golden Tate in receptions and yards in a game. Colston had 111 yards off of 6 receptions, and Stills had 103 yards off of 5 receptions and 1 touchdown. And on defense, Lofton had 16 tackles for the Saints, as Curtis Lofton was a very busy man in this game. DeAndre Levy had 11 tackles in this game, 2 of which were for losses. Glover Quinn had the interception there, that clutch interception in the 4th quarter. Vaccaro and Lewis both had interceptions for the Saints as they picked off Stafford. The Saints had 3 sacks as White, Harrelson, and Gillette each had a sack. The 1 sack for the Lions was available. And so the Lions win this game in an amazing fashion with a 4th quarter comeback, scoring 2 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes. And they hold on and they come back to win this one 24-23. And the Lions are now 5-2 on the season, 3-1 at home. The Saints are 2-4, 0-4 on the road as they have yet to win a road game. So the final score, Detroit 24, New Orleans 23.